Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is, wherever you are. We hope you're doing great. Hey, our Philippine journey, Mike and Arlen, Angeles City, Philippines, and it's about 5:30 in the morning here, and I'm a pretty busy day today, so I'm trying to get stuff done. But I thought I'd take a few minutes, enjoy my coffee, and talk to you. Arlen got back last night from her trip to the province. Her father was in the hospital, and now he's fine, or doing much better, anyways. We'll find out just how fine he is with his next follow up. He's had one follow up since his discharge, and we'll see where it goes for the next one. Why are there so many bloggers in the Philippines? Well, I could probably give you 100 reasons, but I'm going to give you and show you some of the reasons that make it happen. Okay? Not trying to shift somebody else's topic name. Uh, no infringement intended. Okay? The Philippines, first off, has a direct relationship with the United States of America. And there's a huge Philippine population in the United States. So it's well seen. And there's a lot of interest in the Philippines. Now, one of the things that's interesting here, why are there more bloggers in the Philippines? Let me take care of this. I'm so sorry. Why are there more bloggers in the Philippines than, say, Thailand? I mean, let's look at beaches and tourism and expat populations. Well, the biggest reason is that unless you have a knack for languages, Thailand is a difficult situation because the Thais do not speak nearly as much English, and not nearly as many Thais speak English as the Philippines and the Philippine population. So communication is always key to living somewhere. Secondly, Philippines has a much easier immigration situation. Getting a visa here is visa upon arrival, and extending that visa is relatively simple. In Thailand, it's much different. And now let's talk about really one of the most important aspects is the revenue. I mean, nobody really wants to talk about it, but we don't. We don't care. Our channel is a hobby. We're not here trying to make a living out of our channel. And that's why sometimes what we post isn't really well appreciated. And that's a terrible way of saying it. Sometimes what we post doesn't have enough drama in it to attract views, and it's a hobby. Okay. And there are some things that we just don't do on a routine basis. Um, you know, we are not good reviewers of restaurants and hotels because, quite basically, our sense of living is different than other people's. And we're not going to put our impressions down when it doesn't suit or fit what our viewers need or look for. What we do is we just simply tell it like it is and how we feel about things. And if it works out, it works out. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But, anyways, make a long story short, um, revenue is a big reason. And the reason I say that is that because of the way that YouTube is structured, if your home country where you're residence is in the US, well, YouTube is depositing money directly into your US bank. Now, of course, it works in the Philippines too, don't get me wrong. You can have them directed into your Philippine bank account. All right. But my point is that it's very simple to work with YouTube to get those things done. I mean, there are obviously things that every YouTuber bitches about when it comes to um, YouTube's revenue sharing and copyrights and reasonableness on certain things. But their company, their game, their rules. So we all have to deal with it. But it is revenue, and let me explain to you why I say that. Revenue, or what you make off of a YouTube channel, for many people is a considerable amount of money for spending in the Philippines. All right. I mean, $500 a month. If you can make $500 a month on YouTube, and I'm not saying that's easy to do, and certainly we've seen tons and tons of bloggers that never get to that point. All right. But if you can make $500 a month, you've pretty much paid your rent. So you're going to see a lot of bloggers out there putting out a lot of stuff because they're looking for their piece of pie. And you can't blame them for that. I mean, really think about it for a minute. How could you, am I missing a button here? I must have. I don't know what happened. But if you think about it for a minute, all right, you can't blame them for doing that. If they can supplement their income, well, that's why not? And if they supplement their income doing something they enjoy, even more to it. I mean, you have some great YouTubers in the Philippines. And I'm not talking about just Philippine YouTubers. I mean, you do realize there are Philippine YouTubers that are traditional Philippine YouTubers. They are strictly in Tagalog or Bisaya, not nearly as much as in English. And they have millions of followers. Okay? And then you have some great YouTubers, people who put out a consistent amount of information that's informative and things that you're looking for. You've got Terry Hernandez, I think is her name, putting out, tons and tons of travel and immigration type information. You've got Filipina P, who is a general study on life, I guess is the best way I could put it. Super well spoken, highly articulate young lady, Filipina. Okay. And they've developed, quite the followings. But then you've got little people. And if they're making $500 a month, that's, a big chunk of change in Filipino money. Compared to, the cost of living here, that's a pretty big leg up. So you've got that situation. You've got another situation that's very unique in that you can produce. I mean, my phone, I have an old iPhone 13 Pro Max. And it could produce reasonable videos. But if you've got an iPhone, no, I'm sorry, I have an old iPhone 11 Pro Max. I'm sorry. If you have like a 13 or a 14 or whatever, and some of the higher end Android stuff, You don't need thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of video equipment. They produce it just fine. So the entry, the bar for the entry into this is quite simple. Finally, you look at um, the bad side of the bloggers. I'm gonna say, and I'm not saying it disrespectfully. You know me. I don't pick on people. I don't name names. We don't do that. We just piddle on down the road. I mean, what you're gonna hear out of us is just what you hear out of us. All right. And we don't behoove anybody from doing the best that they can. That's for sure. That being said, there are YouTubers out there that are so full of crap. It's hilarious. Their information is half correct, outdated. They sit at home. They don't do anything but follow other people's channels to get content for their own. For us, our content is whatever it is we're up to that day or whatever it is we're thinking about. Just like I was complaining and bitching about the Chicago uh, education system the other day, not even in the Philippines. But that being said, there's a lot of bloggers out there and they don't do that great a job. So we caution you, everything you hear, including anything from us, we could be two things. We could be wrong. It happens. Okay. I misinterpreted the information that I read, or I very foolishly accepted the information that I read. Well, other bloggers are the same way as well. There are people out there, and you know what? Let's get away from that. Let's just say this. Let's say when you listen to other people, make sure to check your sources more than once. Don't just rely on their information. But why are there so many bloggers? Well, the entry level, all right, the what it takes to get into it is relatively inexpensive. The reward in the cost of living here, it's not great. I mean, don't get me wrong. You're not going to live like we live. Um, well, you're certainly not going to live like we live on $500 a month. That's for sure. All right. But it certainly helps. All right. Number two. Number three could be just like us. We just got into it as a hobby. It continues to be a hobby. Um, the next biggest reason is bloggers come to the Philippines because people speak English. And that's a big leg over other Asian countries. So why wouldn't there be a lot of bloggers? Why wouldn't it be usual and informative? I mean, you see bloggers. There are Filipino bloggers that concentrate on certain areas. There are bloggers that concentrate on certain things. Okay, and that's fine. There are bloggers that are out there spewing self-help and how to make yourself a better person type of stuff. There are bloggers out there that are talking about bar girls and bar fines. There are bloggers out there that talk about how cheap it is to live. Great. Some of that information will apply to you, some of it will not. And some of it is true, and some of it's not quite as accurate as you would want it to be. Either way, we encourage you to take a hard look at what everybody says and then double check it. All right, but that's why there's so many bloggers here. It's simple. What's more than that is the fact that bloggers come and bloggers go. You have people who blog everywhere they go when they travel. You have people that they're here for 2, 3, 4, 6 months, and they're gone. All right, elsewhere. On to fresher pastures, creating better content. They're digital nomads and they need new and additional content that they want to work within. So there's a ton of reasons. Okay. And I could list for hours more reasons why there are so many bloggers in the Philippines. I don't look at it as a disadvantage, and neither should you. You shouldn't look at it as a disadvantage. You shouldn't say, oh my God, so many. Oh, here's a new guy, another one, another girl, another this. You know what? Every one of those is a source of potential information that's useful to you. Just double check that information. That's all. That's what's of major importance. Today, there is supposedly going to be a blogger meet and greet right here at Candy Palace. And I'm interested in seeing who shows up and what it's like. It wasn't advertised a whole lot, and it wasn't planned very well. It is what it is. Let's see who shows up and who doesn't. Let's see what it's like. For me, it's a hop, skip, and a jump. I walk out the door to the condo. We walk over to the elevator, or Lynn and I will take it to the rooftop, and we'll have some breakfast and meet some of these people. Although we know a good number of bloggers here, we certainly don't know them all. All right. If you found this reasonably informative, if you found it entertaining, hey, subscribe. We would really appreciate it. And that thumbs up button drives the algorithm that pushes this video onto the YouTube mainstream suggestions. And that helps us a lot. One day, we may even make $500 in a month. I doubt it. But it is what it is. And we wish you a great day. And we hope you're doing well wherever you are. Please don't forget to comment. We're interested in reading your comments all the time. Take care.